Hello plant friends, welcome back to my planty vlog on my channel House Plant Passion, because I'm passionate about plants, and if you're passionate too, you've come to the right place. This is yet another video series episode on plant of the day, and I pick a plant and I tell you the best care tips and tricks for that plant. And I have one of my favorite plants today. This is my variegated green Maranta, aka Beauty Kim, and she is a stunner. I adore this plant. I can't tell you how much I love this plant. I love prayer plants in general, whether it be Marantas, Stramanthes, it doesn't matter. If it's in the prayer plant family and it moves its leaves to follow the light, I'm in love. Now these plants get kind of a bad rap in the plant world as far as care is concerned. A lot of people feel that they are fussy. In a word, a lot of people call them diva-like. I have not found that to be the case for mine, except for a couple. This girl, no, she has been an absolute joy to have in my home. She has these beautiful leaves. They come from parts of Brazil on the rainforest floor. So yeah, this girl, she loves her grow light. I have her right next to one of those bifurcated grow lights that I got from Amazon that I love to mention every single time I do a video, because most of my plants don't get natural light because my apartment doesn't get great light. I will put descriptions along with, at the end of the video, I will put links to anything that I mention in any video if you want to research and look at those things in Amazon. Anyway, this girl, she's originally from Brazil, rainforest, so they like indirect light, whether it be bright or otherwise. They do not like to have direct sunlight on their leaves. These leaves are so thin, I don't know if you can tell. Look at the light going right through them. You will scorch them and they will shrivel up and die. They can tolerate lower light settings, but this girl, she's thriving in the direct light that I'm giving her. And look at these leaves. They're absolutely stunning. Look at that variegation and the red blotches. Oh, good Lord, I just can't go. I could go on and on and on. Look at the red markings on that leaf and this leaf here. I mean, they're absolutely stunning. There's theories out there that plants like this should not be allowed to flower. The flowers only hang around several days, but they are just so beautiful. They're white. I don't know if you can see, white with some purple in the center. And they're just so cute. They don't really have any kind of scent, but they're just so charming, and I leave them alone. I haven't seen where the plant flowers and it doesn't put out new leaf growth. I mean, look at her. She's given me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, I could keep going on and on the amount of leaves this girl is giving me, and she continues to flower all the time. She does not stop growing. So as far as I'm concerned, my plants, I let them flower, my Marantas, and they continue to give me plenty of new growth and new leaves. So as far as water is concerned, the Maranta family in general does not care for chemicals, and it does not like a whole lot of mineralization, especially sodium. So I have hard water that comes out of my spigot. I don't give them anything that comes out of my spigot. I give her distilled water. A lot of people I know will, if they have the ability to do so, they will collect rainwater, which, as I've said before, is mother's milk to plants, because that's what they would get in the wild if they lived in their natural habitat. You can also filter water and give it to them. This plant, they don't like to dry out. They do like to have a well-draining soil, but they don't do with arid mixes that well. I don't mix my own soil. I get soils that are made specifically mixed for calatheas, because that will help me make sure that they are getting the right bark, coconut core, charcoal, peat to pumice ratio, so they will keep the moisture, but it will be well draining. Again, this plant here, I've kept her in her nursery pot. She has well draining soil, and she's just starting to peek out there. Peek out there and start looking at the world, exploring with her roots. That doesn't necessarily mean she needs to be repotted. All plants are gonna do that. They're gonna, if there's a hole and they can grow roots through it, they're gonna do it. As far as fertilizer, I don't fertilize this girl in the winter or in the fall that much, because I found that she doesn't like it, even if I use organic fertilizer. In the summer, I do half strength organic fertilizer several times, maybe once a month, if that, and she continues to give me amazing growth. Humidity wise, she has done just fine in my humidity levels, which is 55 to 60%. She hasn't given me any crispiness. You might see a little bit of crispiness in this leaf on the end. I don't know if you can see that. I don't think you can see it. That was when she dropped below 50% for several days. She gave me some crisping of her leaves. I don't know if you can see it right there. To let me know that she did not care for that. But other than that, she has been a joy for me. I just love this plant. I love how they move their leaves up at night, pointing up towards the sky. In fact, she is my most aggressive mover. When I first brought her home, I heard the rustling of leaves, and I looked over and I saw the after effect of the leaf shaking like this. And I thought for sure I must have had something like a tree frog or something in there. I was shocked. Like, I know my prayer plants move their leaves, but I've never seen such an aggressive movement from my prayer plants. She's just so amusing to me. I just think it's so glorious, the differences in plants, plant to plant. And I just absolutely adore what she's brought into my home. She is pet friendly, so I don't have to worry about children coming into my home and thinking it's lettuce and munching on it. I don't know why anybody would do that, but children get confused. Or my dog Uko taking a nibble, because it wouldn't do any harm to him whatsoever. They are prone to pests just like any other plant. At some point, if you're going to have plants living with you in your home, one of them is going to get a pest, and that's just the nature of the world of plants. They are susceptible to mealybugs, aphids, spider mites, and fungus gnats. We all know how I feel about fungus gnats. There's a devil spawn. Just banes of my existence. They don't really harm the plants themselves, but I've smacked myself a couple times in the face trying to kill a fungus gnat that was trying to just torture me with its existence. But other than that, if you find any of these pests on the leaves of your beautiful plant, you can treat it with neem oil. These plants seem to do just fine with that. You want to treat for the life cycle. I'm not going to go through every single pest and the cycle of those pests. If you find them on your plant, you can Google it, and that'll let you know how long you have to continue to treat for. Spider mites, you have to treat for up to 6 weeks, because that's the life cycle of the eggs that might have been laid in the soil. Other than that, you want to isolate a plant. As soon as you see any kind of pest evidence or an actual sighting, you want to make sure that you put your pests away from the rest, or the pests. What am I going to do? Misspeaking. It must be time for lunch, right? If you see any pests, you want to put this, whatever plant you have, pest on in isolation. And even once you stop treating for pests, I always keep my plants away from the rest of my plants away from any of my other plants for at least 4 to 6 weeks until I have seen that there's no evidence that there might be any pests that have survived the treatment. After that, they can come out of their, their isolation and be put back into the rest of the plants that I have, because the last thing you want is a pest plant apocalypse on your hands. Nobody wants that. Other than that, I can't tell you how much I love these plants. I could go on and on and on about how much I love them, especially the variegated ones. And that's it for this plant care for this plant. If you liked everything you saw in this episode, don't forget to like before you leave. You can also hit the subscribe button to continue to come back for more planty tips and tricks. Until then, until next time, remember to love your plants, give them plenty of love, and we'll see you soon.